guys, if you're seeing this part, you're catching the replay. I'm going to give everyone a couple minutes to hop on. We're doing team training in conjunction with the 90-day restart, and we're going to do it on growing your group, growing your following. Just going to give everyone a second, just a few minutes to pop on. Hey, Felicia. If you need something, you need to go find your dad. I've said a couple times I'm working in my office. That's why the door's shut. Your dad is also in the building. Go find him. Go find your father. Why? Why? I'll never understand why it is that when there's two parents in the home, the only person that can do anything is the mother. It makes me crazy. Crazy. I am like this close to renting an office. Makes me completely crazy. Sorry, my computer just turned back on. I'm trying to turn off the music. Alright, we're good. Hey guys. Hi. I don't get it. I don't get it. I never will. I'll never understand it. I know. I don't understand it. It makes me completely crazy. Yeah. I know. I'm like, we've talked about it before, but I'm like seriously considering it. Hey, Miss Amanda. Hey, Mary. Okay. We're going to do growing your group, and all of my suggestions are how I grew my group, how I grew my following, and I'll tell you like the rationale behind, hey guys, why I did it, and then I'll tell you why I think it worked. There actually isn't anything I would do differently because it all worked exactly how I planned it to work. And then we'll do some like question and answers. There's a couple things. Number one, obviously you each have your, I feel like I should just make this like a caveat in front of everything. This is your own business. You can take advice if you want. You don't have to take advice. You can do things your own way. But it worked for me. It's worked for other people. I think that this system works. And if you choose to only take certain parts of it and not implement everything together, I can't be responsible for the results. Because it's kind of like, hey Kim, it's kind of like a recipe. So if you decide like, well, I don't feel like putting sugar in it, I don't feel like putting baking soda in it, like it doesn't work. The recipe isn't the same. So like your outcome is different. So you can't really pick and choose from what I'm going to tell you today. Okay, it's kind of like a package deal. You kind of have to take the package. I've seen it happen before where people were like, well, I didn't want to do that part. And I'm like, doesn't work then. So it's okay. If you don't like my system, it's totally okay. You're not going to hurt my feelings, I promise. Okay? But you need to find someone else's system then, and you need to follow that system and the whole way. So basically, if you don't like my recipe for chocolate chip cookies, totally cool, not going to be offended, but you need to go find a different recipe. You can't just pull pieces from mine and pull pieces from somebody else's that you like, because it's just not going to work that way. There's possibly like different tactics within kind of my overall plan that could maybe be adjusted and changed a little bit, but the overall plan for how I grow my group is going to be a model. It's a kit. It's a package kit. So hopefully that makes sense. Okay. So this is how I did it from the very beginning. I had my plan. If you guys don't have your plan yet, like, stop watching and go watch the other 2 videos and do your plan, and then come watch this video when you're done with your plan. You have to know what your priorities are first. Otherwise, nothing I'm about to tell you will make any sense. So go watch the organizational one and go watch the one with the plan first, okay? I'm serious. So you have to know what your priorities are. I knew that my priority was Periscope and that I would leverage videos I did on Periscope for YouTube because I wanted live video. And then I knew my Facebook group was my second. So YouTube was just kind of like cheating off of, like I was just kind of stealing content from Periscope to take onto YouTube. And then Facebook group was my second priority. And then I wanted to be consistent on my Facebook group and my Instagram page so that when I got around to those, they would be there for me. I would have already started to kind of build some consistency on those two things. So I knew what my plan was. Hey, babe. What are you doing? It's not here. It's on the kitchen counter. I told him that 5 times. Thank you. Can you bring me a drink?
You sure you said
Diet
5
Coke.
times?
Actually, I may have told him 6 times.
Diet
Diet Coke. Thank you. So, my husband still isn't feeling great, so poor little thing just woke up. So you have to know that first. If you don't know that, you can't implement what I'm going to tell you, and it won't work because you won't have any content for them in those areas that I'm about to tell you to do stuff on. So hopefully that makes sense. Okay. So you need people in the platforms that you're going to be spending the most time on. Otherwise, what's the point of spending time on the platform, right? So for Periscope, you can't collect followers really ahead of time. I mean, I know that people just like, I know that you can kind of like hang out in Periscope and like chit chat with people and they'll follow you, but I don't find that that's a super like fast or convenient way to like get people following you that would pay much attention. So Periscope was sort of its own kind of monster, and I knew that the only way that I could grow my following on Periscope was to be on there regularly, to be on there a lot, and to access people that were customers I wanted. Hence LuLaRoe. Thank you, LuLaRoe. So I knew that that was how I was going to grow my Periscope following. For YouTube, I knew that there wasn't a lot of content for A&D. So if I knew if I could get I knew that if I could get enough content with enough variety on my YouTube channel, I knew that the followers would kind of come on their own. Again, YouTube, you can't really force YouTube followers, especially if you're just starting out. Like if you don't have a Facebook group and you don't have a business page that has a following and you don't have a Periscope following, you can't really force a YouTube following. So you just have to put out some like interesting, dynamic, like kind of like, YouTube videos, and then they'll kind of come on their own. So that was kind of like what I had in my head for those two. Then for Facebook's kind of cool because you can kind of fill your room. So your group is your room. So you already have your Facebook friends, acquaintances. If you have a husband or a boyfriend or a sister or a mom, they have Facebook friends and acquaintances. So you can sort of preload your Facebook room. Now, again, go back to the beginning. If you didn't hear that part, this is how I did it. It's a kit. This is like a package. If you don't love my system, you don't have to use it. You can use a different system. But if you don't use all the components of my system, it's not going to work the same and not responsible for the recipe outcome. Okay? So this is what I did. I pre-filled my room. I pre-filled my room with every single person that was on my friends list that was a woman, with the exception of like, I think there was 3 that I was like, when I went to go add them, I was like, wow, they're just really negative. Like, they'll probably just, like, even if they contributed, it would probably be a negative experience. So I didn't add like a couple people. And then my husband, he added all of his women friends too. So we preloaded my room, that's right, with about 600 people. That was a decent start. Maybe 400-ish. So we had a pretty decent start. Then, it started as a LuLaRoe group, okay? And I was going to join LuLaRoe. So my sister did I was a host for a party, and she did a fundraiser for me. And so I got maybe 150 people off of buy, sell, trade advertisement that she ran. So any of us can run buy, sell, trade advertisements. Hers just happened to be running in a LuLaRoe buy, sell, trade page. So I had about 150 LuLaRoe people. We had that fundraiser. About a month later is when I decided to switch to Agnes and Dora. And so that's when I started marketing myself. So I started marketing that I was going to be a new Agnes and Dora rep, and that I was going to have 2 different giveaways. And if you want to see what those 2 giveaways are, they're in my group. If you just go down to the very bottom, or if you just go to the pictures and just go to the first pictures you see, I had 2 giveaways. One was guess the weight of my inventory, and the other one was guess the date my inventory arrives. And they went for about 2.5 weeks, and every single day I would promote these. I would promote them in different buy, sell, trade pages. I would read the rules really carefully to make sure that my post wouldn't get deleted. I would post a post to the wall if I was allowed to. If I wasn't allowed to do that, what I would do is I would take that link, my group link, and anytime somebody asked for a discount or hostesses or a giveaway, I would post that link. I spent about maybe a half an hour every single day just posting my link as many different places as I possibly could. And I would get anywhere from like 10 to 20 to 30 join requests a day. Now it's work. I mean, it's 30 minutes of like 30, 45 minutes or longer of reading through all of the posts, posting that link, like, you know, going back, rereading stuff, answering questions or comments or whatever, just all over the place. But it worked. So when my inventory finally arrived, and I would remind them, don't forget I have these giveaways, don't forget I have these giveaways. And so when I launched, I believe I had 800, somewhere like that, people in my Facebook group. No, I can't remember the exact number. I hit 1,000, I think, like month 1, I hit 1,000. And 1,000 people was my goal. You need to have a goal. Go back to the goal video if you don't know what I'm talking about. So 1,000 people was my goal for my Facebook group. The reason why 1,000 people was my goal for my Facebook group is because once you hit, this was the theory, and I found this theory to be true. Once you hit 1,000 people in your group, it becomes a self-sustaining group, meaning there is always going to be people leaving your group, but there's enough people joining or adding their friends that you no longer really have to pay attention and be too concerned about the number of people in your group. Now, I didn't want to stop at 1,000. So I wasn't like, oh, cool, I'm at 1,000, all done. No, I ran hostess parties after that. We're going to get to that in 1 second. So I hit 1,000. That's the point where I took myself out of all the buy, sell, trade pages. I no longer advertise for those people. Now, some of you guys are thinking, but you guys tell us to stay out of buy, sell, trade pages, and you guys tell us not to do giveaways, and you guys tell us not to do loops because you don't want that kind of customer. You don't want that kind of customer. And all of that stuff is accurate. But what I'm talking about, my method for growing your group is that you have to fill your group with 1,000 people first. I don't really care who those 1,000 people are. I really don't. As long as they're women. I don't care who they are. I don't care. I don't care. I don't care where they came from. I don't care what they like. I don't care, as long as you have warm bodies in the room. The reason why I say this is because if you showed up to a party and you pulled up and there was nobody else in the party, you probably wouldn't even go in, especially if you didn't know the host, especially if you didn't know the person running the party. You're the person running the party. If you invited people to a party and you had one person show up and they didn't even know you, they're not going to stay. Same thing with your group. You guys that have groups out of 100 or 200 or 300 people and you're not seeing a lot of action or movement, it's because you have a non-existent party. You need to fill your space. Once you have a legitimate group and it looks legitimate to people, that's when you start getting some action. That's when the real shoppers are going to say, oh, this is a place I want to be. And you're going to get the quality people. Those are the people that you want in your group. Now, you never know what's going to happen with those first 1,000 people. Some of those people will never do anything. Some of those people will eventually be shoppers. Some of those people will eventually be hostesses. Some of those people will eventually add people to your group. A lot of those people may leave. That's okay. But you don't know that. And it was like 7 months, 6 to 7 months, when I started seeing people that I actually knew. My acquaintances was the first time those people bought stuff from me. Now, I know for some of you guys that's weird because you're only having people that like you know shop with you, but that's because of the way that you're growing your group. You're starting with a small group and you're wanting to grow it organically. It can't grow organically if you don't fill the room in the beginning. I promise you it won't happen because you have an empty party. They showed up and nothing's going on. This happened to me one time. I got invited to a LuLaRoe party and I showed up and I was literally the only person there. I was like, I was sorry I ever went in. And so then if you're in your Facebook group, they can just leave again because there's nothing happening. So don't worry about those first 1,000. Just get the first 1,000 into the group. I mean, 800, 900, whatever. I like the 1,000. It's a nice roundish number. Okay. Now, once you have those first 1,000 people, that's when you want to start being really, really discriminatory about who you're wanting to get into that group. At this point, you don't want to just fill it with warm bodies. Now you want to fill it with quality bodies. This is where I wanted to have about 3,000 people in my group, sort of like as my baseline number. That was my next goal after the 1,000. So what I decided to do was I built up my inventory, and then about 3 months in, I started running hostesses. So I ran hostesses through there, and I had my hostesses add their friends to my group. So now I had people that knew people in the group already, so they're that much more likely to kind of stay and see what's going on. Again, not necessarily shopping, but maybe adding people, or their sister likes it, or they eventually buy a pair of leggings and they try a top. So it's not like super fast moving. It's not just like bam, bam, bam all the time. You have to give them a second to kind of like get your style, like trust you, like start to learn Agnes and Dora. They're not going to see your stuff all the time, so you have to kind of give them a minute to get acclimated. That whole time that I'm growing my group, I'm doing a lot of giveaways. Not constant giveaways, but giveaways attached to purchasing behavior. So I made sure I always did check-in posts. I was doing album sales about twice a week. I was running outfits. I was posting outfits to the wall on like Sundays so that people would see the outfits. And I was always making sure that before I started selling that I ran a giveaway through the group. And I made it a decent giveaway, not like, win a pair of mystery leggings. Like, I tried to attach it to so they would have to buy something. Now technically you have to give them enough that they can actually buy something. So if you have kids leggings, part of the issue, Becky, is the number of people you have in your group and the activity level. If you get some LuLaRoe people in your group, I promise they will start responding to albums. If you have any kids leggings, then you can do an $18 giveaway because you can buy kids leggings for $18. If you do not have kids leggings, then the smallest giveaway you can do is $22. But most people are going to take that $22 and they'll try a skirt or they'll try a dress or something. So I always did something like that. So during that 3-month period that I was really still focused on growing my group, those are the kinds of activities that I did in Facebook. I would post to my personal wall about once a week, but I left it really, really infrequent. I did not want to pound my personal, even though my personal people were in my Facebook group because I added them all. I didn't want to bombard them on my personal feed with Agnes and Dora stuff. I would take a picture of I got a bunch of boxes or something really pretty, and I would stick the link to my group in the comments, but I wouldn't pound them with it. At the same time though, so I had 2 different avenues of stuff happening. At the same time, I'm going to read that in 1 second, Felicia. I also anytime that I was on Periscope, I did something that I don't see people do very frequently, and I think it was a major key to growing my Facebook group with shoppers. Periscope viewers are shoppers. My husband totally forgot to bring me a Diet Coke. Mikey Poo! So annoying. Okay, so what I did on Periscope, I know I'm so mad. Yes, that's what I did, Patty. That's what I did. This is my personal opinion is that it's actually far more aggressive to ask somebody, honey, can you bring me a Diet Coke?
Yeah, sorry, man.
My personal opinion is that it is far more, who's angry? My personal opinion, about my husband not bringing me a Diet Coke. My personal opinion, I can't, because I'm doing you guys on the phone, so I can't text. Okay, so my personal opinion about asking people, to add them to their Facebook group ahead of time, to me, that's more aggressive. If somebody asks me directly, hey, can I add you to my group? Now I have to, like, answer them, like, yes or no. And, like, saying no is, that, doesn't feel good, even though you might not want to be in it. This is what I did. What I did was I always made sure, as soon as I added people, I posted a big graphic. And I was like, hey, thank you so much for checking out my business. Here's how to work this group. If you want to see what I do in this group, this is how you turn on the notifications. If you're not interested in getting notifications, here's how to turn them off. If you don't want to be here, here's how to leave. And I posted the graphic, and that was it. And you know what? People left. Not a big deal. Didn't hurt my feelings. I didn't take it personally. Some of those people requested later to rejoin. Not a big deal. No big deal. I always call it Mickey Pooh. So I feel like it's more aggressive. If I had somebody, first of all, not everyone checks their PMs or understands that, and people don't like getting PMs, especially for like business stuff. So I just felt like if they really don't want to be in the group, they can leave. I'll even explain to them how to leave. No big deal. Not a big deal. I had no issues with this, and I have not had anybody. All the girls that I have coached on this, I have not had people. So that's right. Again, this is my personal opinion. This is how I grew my group. A lot of you guys are always saying, how did you do it? This is how I did it. This is exactly how I did it. But it is a recipe. So you can't just pick and choose the parts of it that you want, because it's not going to work the same way. I don't remember where the graphic is. If you can find it, you can copy it. A lot of times I delete stuff like that off my page after a while. Like, I'll leave it up for a couple days and then I delete stuff. So, especially in the beginning when I was like had more time, so I would keep my newsfeed nice and clean for people. That way, if they went back, they didn't see every single thing. I wouldn't be worried about it. Okay, so then at the same time, what I did was on Periscope. Anytime I went on Periscope, a lot of you guys are like, I don't have a lot of inventory. Neither did I. Started with $2,500 in inventory. I could not do more than just reinvest my, I couldn't do more than just repurchase what I had bought. So I was like really slowly building my inventory. Almost all of my inventory was built with rep credits from the very beginning. I probably reinvested maybe another 2,000, maybe 3 or 4 total, but all the rest of it have been rep credits. So on Periscope, what I did was, behind me, I always had this little chickadee behind me, Miss Tiffany. She used to have a little knobby knob for her head, but it broke. So I used to always have her behind me, and I always had a dress on her. I always had a dress. And so somebody would say, oh my God, what is that dress on your mannequin? And I would say, oh, that's a Curie. It's a medium. It's legging material. How cute is this? This is going to be really cute for fall. And then if they would say, what other ones do you have? I would say, I'm a brand new rep, so I don't have a dress inventory yet. But because I work, and I'm going to tell you what I said, and then I'm going to tell you why I said it. Because I work for Agnes and Dora, I get to choose my own inventory. So I can actually special order you a dress, just like this, like in whatever pattern you want. If you want to go find me on Facebook, the link's in my bio. Send me a PM and remind me that you want a dress like this, and I will personal shop for you for a dress. Okay. Sometimes I have really good ideas. This happened to have been a really, brilliant idea. I did a couple things with that comment. Number one, first of all, more than just that person was listening. There's multiple people listening, right? I did a couple things. Number one, I planted the seed that I get to pick exactly what I want. And on Periscope, there's a lot of consultants and consultant wannabes. It was. So they're like, oh my God, she gets to pick exactly what she wants. Yes, I do. Number 2, I just made that person feel really special. I didn't have dresses for her to pick from, but I'm going to personal shop until I find one that she really wants. Number 3, I just made her connect with me on Facebook. They always join my Facebook group. Always. Always. And when they would say, oh, do you have leggings? I do, but I'm not doing them today, but I am doing them in my Facebook group tomorrow. Now, could I have shown them my leggings? Of course I could have shown them my leggings, but then they wouldn't have joined my Facebook group. Hello? It was not a success on Periscope for me if I got off and there was nobody requesting to join my Facebook group. The way that I gauged my success on Periscope was having some live viewers, having a couple sales, and having people request to join my group after. Those were the 3 things that I always wanted on Periscope. So that got the job done. So between my growing my Facebook group by adding my friends, having my husband add his girlfriends, which, by the way, many of his friends actually shop with me earlier and spent more money. These are people I didn't know, but he knew from like work or like college or whatever, because they knew me enough to trust me, but like they weren't friends with me, so they didn't feel weird buying from me, if that makes sense. So like your mom, your sisters, boyfriend, husband, all of those people are great resources to add people to your group if they don't mind. So that is how I grew my Facebook group. Once I hit 3,000 people, I stopped doing anything that would add people to my group on purpose. I no longer spent any time thinking, how can I get people in my group? I was all done. And at this point, I never think about how many people in my group. I couldn't tell you if 10 people left my group today. I would not even know if 10 people left my group today. I don't care. The people that are joining my group are having to seek my group out and requesting to join. That's exactly who I want in my group at this point. So all of that I had to do in the beginning, that some of you are thinking, well, I don't know if I want to do that. I don't know. I don't have to do that anymore. It's all done because I did it in the beginning. It's kind of like anything, like training for a marathon, all these things. Like you have to do things you don't necessarily like love to get the result that you want. So that is, how cute is that little, I love this skirt so much. I'm like, I don't understand why I have these still. This is my favorite midi. Anyway. Okay. So, if you are wanting to do Instagram, I'm not even going to address this because I haven't even started on Instagram yet, and I just rewatched Shelby's training on Instagram, which is posted to the wall, and it's all the information you could ever possibly need to know about growing your Instagram following. So I'm gonna leave that there. If you are at the point where you want to grow your Facebook business page, okay, you can't do this if you don't have a group yet, my personal opinion. Okay, if you do not have an active and involved Facebook group, it's too early for you to be doing putting in a lot of effort on a Facebook business page. It's my personal opinion. So I'm not going to talk about that. But if you do have a Facebook group and your Facebook group's kind of chugging along, then you are ready for a Facebook. I know it's really good. You are ready for a Facebook business, to up your game on your Facebook business page. The way to up your game on your Facebook business page is you want to leverage your group. This is why you need a group. You need to leverage your group because they already know, like, and trust you. That's why they're in your group paying attention. You need to leverage them and run a giveaway to get them to review your business page, and then strategically and smartly run a couple Facebook ads, a couple targeted Facebook ads. Do a really cool like flat lay, and have that connected to your Shop Now button, and do a couple things like that to sort of boost that page a little bit until you see your followers increase. Again, for my business page, my goal again was 1,000 followers. So I pushed really hard to get to 1,000, and now my next goal will be 3,000, but I've kind of slowed down a little bit on my business page just because I got busy. And if you are not consistent and strategic it doesn't work. And it just kind of looks flaky if you're kind of like throwing a couple things here and then you don't do anything for a couple days. So I've sort of backed off that for a little bit until I can kind of like reassess my plan, my game plan. So once you start to see a little bit of traction, that's when you want to start going live. If you don't do live, I'm not the right person to give you advice. There's other people in this group that can give you advice, but I'm not the right person. On both your Facebook business page and your Facebook group, as soon as you have that room filled, and that's when you need to start going live, because the live forces the interaction. If you're like, I can't get my group to engage, keep going live over and over and over and over and over again. They can't not participate. Just clicking on it forces more engagement than what you're already getting. I do $5 a day. I do $5 a day. No, don't wait until you have 1,000, but when you have 1,000, that's when you want to really go at it if you haven't already. So definitely don't wait. I went live from day one. Right away. Okay, hold on. Let me go up to Felicia. I know Felicia asked a question. Okay. We have a group and been going 5 months already. Do you suggest adding lots of people now? It doesn't matter when you started your group. If you haven't used these, this is the time to do it. This 90-day restart period is the time to do that. It's the first day you open up your group. It doesn't matter when it is. Live. It doesn't matter. Go live selling, go live just doing a preview, go live showing a style guide, go live showing how you wear something like a different way than you've seen people wear it before. Go live and tell people you're getting your hair cut. I don't care what you tell them. Yeah, what Dorothy said is correct. You wanna create a Facebook ad with targeting instead of just boosting posts. $1,500 on my business page. I go live, not a ton of interaction, but a lot of views. It's an old business page that I converted to Andy. Megan, I would just keep going, because how long have you been doing it? It can take a long time. I went live in my Facebook group from August until Christmas time without seeing a lot of sales in a Facebook, like on a Facebook Live. Literally. Like, I would sell maybe like a couple things, like 1 or 2 things here and there, but nothing like spectacular. Nothing to make me want to do a Facebook Live over a Periscope Live until Christmas. So September, October, November, and then like 3.5 months I did Facebook Lives before I saw a lot. Nope, that doesn't work. A recorded video that you post in your group doesn't work. It doesn't do anything for it's like just, I mean, maybe it's a little bit better than a picture, but it doesn't do anything about algorithms or notifications or anything. You have to physically go live. Offering an incentive to those customers by having them join my Facebook group. Oh yeah, absolutely. I would definitely offer live people. I would have your iPad set up so they can join it right then. Bad for people to not see you selling. If you should be selling other places then. That's what I did. I did Periscope and Facebook Live. 2 months of going live. I stopped last month. The other thing though too is that Megan too is that you were going live over the summer though. So the summer months are not the shopping months, and if you notice, I was barely on Periscope during the summer because this is like the slowdown, so I was only going to invest my time in one place. That's how slow it was. So like this is the time to do it. Felicia, here's the thing. The reason why you would mass add is so that you can boost your overall group. If you're not having an issue in your group, then you wouldn't be mass adding people. And if you are having an issue in your group, then who cares about your algorithm? Because it's crap anyway. Before you saw an increase. Dorothy, it was a while. it was like 30 viewers, 40 viewers, a couple hundred. So it was maybe a couple months. And then I would start getting like 600 or 700, and then I would reach like 2,000 or 3,000. And then obviously you saw what happened last Friday. And not on Periscope is your personality. To be as consistent as possible, and I know it's hard, and I know that there's always, you know, there's always something that comes up, but in the beginning, like, I just didn't let any of those things become excuses for me. I was working 4 overnights in a row at a hotel, so I was barely sleeping. I had little kids with me home during the day, like, my husband worked in restaurants. Like, I just didn't let any of that stuff become an excuse. I just kept. Amy, last Friday I had a reach of 265,000 on my live video, and I had 10.8 thousand live viewers. Exactly what I'm saying. You want to fill your Facebook room, and until you have 1,000 people, my personal opinion is I don't care where they come from. It's female warm bodies. That was the only thing I cared about, is female warm bodies. I did great with the reorder. Recorded last week, sold 45. Perfect. But it doesn't help with the algorithm, so it's not what I'm doing next time. So this is what I did. Every time I would go on Periscope, I don't do this anymore because I just forget. I always go, every Friday I go live on my business page and I share it to my group. Any other time I go live just in my group. The reason I do that is because now, while it's lovely to have 10.8 thousand viewers every single time you go live, I also want my Facebook group to feel like my friends, like my group of friends. And they don't feel like a group of friends if I'm constantly just like focusing on how many thousands of people I can get paying attention to me at one time. You know what I mean? So the other times I go on, I'm like, hey guys, it's just us tonight. Just our little group. Like, it's kind of like the perk of being in my group is like you get like a smaller, like more personal kind of sale. And then my big Friday night live is everything. In the beginning, what I would do is I would always share my Periscope. I would always share the link to my Periscope to my Facebook group, and I would have them claim by commenting. Comment sold with the number underneath here if you want to claim on the replay. And then that did a couple things. Number one, it got people commenting on a post in my Facebook group, but it also kept reminding my Facebook group that I sell on Periscope. Because in the very beginning, I always sold my boxes on Periscope first before I ever showed them to my Facebook group. So I wanted to keep reminding my Facebook people, hey, I sell this first on Periscope. And then a lot of them were like, what's Periscope? I don't know. So it got them more familiar with Periscope, because I always did that. Now I don't really do it anymore. I forget, and that's not a priority to me anymore. Mass adding would be people will tell you mass adding is a huge no-no. And once you have done it one time, you should never, ever, ever do it again. If you've done this correctly, you would never, ever, ever be mass adding people ever again to your business. That would be the only time you would ever do it. It's kind of like the Hail Mary pass. It's a one and done. You do it the one time and it's over. And again, this is all, if you missed the very beginning, go back and watch it. This is my particular recipe. This is exactly how I did it. This is what works. I believe there's a really logical, scientific way for why it worked, but it is like a recipe. So you can't just pull certain pieces out. Like, you can't just do the giveaway post and then, like, not have people in your room. You know what I mean? It won't work. Join event for lives. I started a VIP group. I think we've all tried VIP groups, and most of us have found that they're just honestly a hassle. I have a VIP group, but it's just an email list. So I just email them when I have new stuff that comes in, and they have access to it first. 64. Okay, hold on. You're gonna have to explain to me how that happened. How did you go from 1,000 to 64? That makes so much more sense. You're welcome. Okay, who has questions? Here's the thing. You have to find a way to grow your group before you can really implement anything else, because you're not going to see success. I mean, okay, you can call it a VIP group. You can call your group a VIP group. My group is not a VIP group. I have VIPs. That group is just a customer group. You can call it whatever you want. You can call your group whatever you want. 2 months in, when your rep credits are crucial for your business. My rep credits were crucial for my business because I didn't have money to help me boost my inventory, and I needed to pull as much profit as possible. So that's one of the reasons why I built a team, because I needed access to that money. If I didn't need access to that money, then I wouldn't necessarily have cared about building a team. I took my... Oh no, don't take people out! There's nothing that you can do that we can't undo, but it might take some extra time and effort. You guys, do not delete people from your group. Please don't do that. I see people telling people to do this, and I literally, like, I want to just, like, scream and shake something, like, really hard. Don't take people out of your group, okay? Okay, you can take reps out of your group. If you have found that you've got a lot of reps in your group and you're not necessarily interested in having reps in your group, I don't care. Take them out of your group all day. Please don't take other people out of your group. Don't take people out of your group. Don't take people out of your group. $5 a day for ads. $5 a day for Facebook ads. I found that if you do $5 a day, you get more out of it than if you do a smaller amount for a longer period of time or a larger amount for a shorter period of time. Don't take people out of your group. The exact same thing. It doesn't have to be with it doesn't have to be with your initial inventory. It can say, you can say, guess the weight of my next launch order. It was, 4 boxes. It was 1 box. It was 200 pieces. It was 100 pieces, like whatever. You can say, guess how many pieces I ordered. Something like that. You can say, guess how many pieces of inventory I have. You can do all kinds of different things. I think that's when you have, like, Shanna, with the 100-person group, what you're going to see is there's just no way to sell $10,000, $20,000, $30,000. You can't do it with 100 people. It's not possible. I mean, the amount of money that those people would have to spend every month. I mean, you need more people than that because everyone's going to cycle. You'll have women that buy a lot with you for the next month, and then they'll back off and won't shop for a while. You'll have women that'll buy like one thing every week. You'll have women that'll spend like $1,000 and like you won't see them again. Like, it's everybody's spending habits are different, so that's why you need a big room. Dorothy, I think the best way to do it is to come up with something long and drawn out that you can engage them in. That's why I did The Biggest Loser. It forced engagement in my room with a topic that had nothing to do with sales at all. And it was ongoing, so we could connect with each other week to week to week. Or should I do a giveaway and post it? Yeah, you know what? So Cheryl, you can definitely post in the buy sell trade pages and say you're doing a giveaway on Periscope and make them come on Periscope to find out the details of the giveaway. But I would do it over like a week or two, maybe a week. Sometimes people lose interest after 2 weeks, but I would do it like over the course of a week and then go on every day, just a short little thing, and then do like a big Periscope where you do the giveaway. No support from what I post on my personal page. Any advice? Patty, I think my first question would be, have you added all the women on your Facebook friends list? Because if you haven't added all the women on your Facebook friends list, then we're kind of already starting to change the recipe, and it doesn't work that way. And again, this is my advice for how I did it. I think it works. I think it works for me. I've seen it work for other people. If you're not interested in following my recipe, I'm not going to be offended, but there's we need to get advice from other leaders then, because I can't give you advice on how to do it a different way because I didn't do it that way. I know, please don't delete it. Don't delete people from your group. Don't delete people. Okay, this is why it makes me crazy. Okay, this is a really big pet peeve of mine. Okay, this is why this makes me absolutely crazy. The reason why people are talking about deleting people from their group is because their group is not engaged. So instead of finding a way to engage their group, they're like, I know, I'll just lower the number of people. That way, the 15 people that are engaging with me, I'll just have a higher engagement. Yeah, it doesn't really work like that at all. It's a totally flawed line of logic. That line of logic is very flawed. Instead of finding a way to engage with your group, you're just going to delete a bunch of people out. That way it appears that your group is more engaged. Your group is not more engaged. They're not engaged. You're missing something. You've missed a piece of something. You need to find a way to engage with that group that you already have. You don't need to find different people. You don't need to find less people. You need to engage with that group, no matter what it is. You have to find a way to create a community of people with that group. If you find that you've been deleted from a group and you are a rep, don't take it personally. I will tell you, I take myself out of a lot of groups that I get added to. If you could see the number, I have 63 directs. So if you can imagine how many groups that I get added to and how many groups I'm admin on, it's not an amount that I could ever even manage. So for the most part, if you and I have a relationship, I will stay in the group. If we don't have a relationship, a lot of times I take myself out. It's not personal. It's just the amount of things that we can manage. Let's not get into the ad conversation on this because I think most of you aren't ready to pay for ads yet. If you think that you're ready to start paying for ads, talk with your referring rep. And if your referring rep doesn't know about ads, then keep going up the ladder until you find somebody that is. Okay, here's the other thing with reps in your group. Now, I accept anyone that requests to join my group with almost zero exceptions. So that's what I've decided to do. The thing with reps in your group though is here's how Facebook works. If I post something and my mom likes it and my sister likes it, most of the people that see it are going to be people that I know that they also know or that the two of them know together. Okay? So when you post something in your group and a bunch of reps comment and like it, this is why those like comment circles and stuff don't work. When a bunch of reps and stuff comment on it, the other people that see it are reps because that's who you have friends in common with. See what I'm saying? So I've seen people literally organize big circles of people where reps will go and comment on things. Well, all you did was you boosted the algorithm in your group so that you're posting, so that all the reps that you're mutually friends with are seeing your stuff. Who cares? If reps see your stuff, you want your customers to see your stuff. So it's not like it's not okay for reps to comment, but I wouldn't on purpose seek that out. Shopwithlauren.com, Stephanie. Says I can go live with you in the same screen. Shut up, Jill, do it. 40 in my group, I'm hesitant to go live because every time I go live on Facebook, there are no sales. Okay, so Lisa, this is a really good thing to do. Okay, so if you're nervous about going because you're afraid you're not going to get sales and you feel like that looks silly, you can do a couple things. Number one, you can call it a flash sale and you can have you can do 10 things at 10. And just show 10 things at 10 and just do it really quick in 10 minutes. I've seen that on Periscope. It's really cute. 10 and 10 and 10. 10 at 10 and 10. So at 10 o'clock in the morning or 10 o'clock at night, show 10 things and do it in 10 minutes or under. And don't act like you're waiting for people to come on. Don't act like you're waiting for people to comment. Just say, I'm just going to show you my favorite 10 shirts real quick. So you can do that. The other thing you can do is you can go live a bunch and show styling things or show outfits or do sneak peeks. Say, we're not buying on this one. I'm just showing you a sneak peek of what came in my box and you can claim on my party site. Or you can claim later on an album sale or whatever. So setting up lives where you're not expecting sales and your group, that way it won't look awkward to your group and it won't feel awkward to you. Jill, is that the title on the camera? The place on? Yes. And tell you to grow organically, blah, blah, blah. Yes, I was just going to ask if other leaders would share their growing plan in the next 2 weeks. Yep. We will definitely ask them to do that. I do want to follow, just trying to figure out how to grow my group, blah, blah, blah. You also need to do the other things that I suggested too. You also need to be advertising in the buy, sell, trade pages and then doing hostesses. So those are the other ways. It's not just your friends list. It was a whole recipe of ideas. Jill and I are definitely on the same page with that one. Seriously ready to cry because your advice is so different. So Shambra, you know what? It's okay. Here's the good news. The good news is that today is a brand new day. You can start all the way over. Here's the other really good news. The summertime, this is what happens to sales in summertime. All the way down here. So if you've been doing stuff over the summer and it's not working, it doesn't matter. No one was going to buy stuff anyway. This is when they're buying stuff. So do it now. That's why we're doing the 90-day restart now. If I would have done the 90-day restart in June, you would all be freaking out because nothing would be working. So it's okay. Try it again. I have a negative Nelly in my group. Here, okay, this is what I would do. Cheryl, what I would do is I would comment on her comments and I would be professional, but I would also make sure she understood that it wasn't acceptable. So like if she like made a comment about somebody not looking good in something, I would say, hey, you know, this might not be for you, but there might be somebody else in the group that really likes that, and that comment can be really hurtful to somebody, especially for women. We try to be positive and supportive in this environment. So I would not brush on the table, I wouldn't ignore it, and I would address every single negative comment. If she took herself out of your group on her own, that would probably be the best thing that ever happened. You are welcome. I do care about you guys. Anything that I tell you is because I want you guys to be successful. I'm not as successful as I want to be unless you guys are all successful. Okay, so when I give you advice, it's because I believe that it will work. And I always tell you guys stuff that I would do myself or that I have done. So what about asking customers to add? I do not like that. I do not like asking customers to add friends. I don't like that for any reason whatsoever. Somebody that's a big fan will add people on their own, and you don't have to ask them. The only time I have ever asked anyone to add people to the group is a hostess party. So when I've done a hostess party, I've said, go ahead and add your girls to the group that you think would be interested in shopping. That's the only time. I don't like that in any other scenario at all. Rachel, I saw your email and I apologize. My little guy had deleted my app by mistake, and so I never got notified. So we will have to set up another time. I am sorry about that. And I didn't get a chance to respond to that. Doing a vendor event, we'll add them to the group on my phone. I think what I would do for the in-person stuff. Okay. For the in-person things is I think that I would have some kind of card or a piece of like a flyer set up. And I would make them join my Facebook group and like my business page. And once they did that and sent me, maybe even gave me a review on my business page. And once I saw the review on my business page, I would refund them like $5. Well, I guess that would only work if they paid credit card. Okay, you know what? I need to think about that a little bit, because the thing is that if you have them just join your group right then, they might take themselves out later. But who really cares? I think what I would do is I would do 10% off. I would have your iPad set up or your phone set up, and I would have them add themselves to your group and like your business page, and then I would give them 10% off. And then if they really were so uninterested in being a part of that they want to delete themselves, I probably wouldn't worry about it. I think that's what I would do. See, I don't see anything. I don't see anything on my side. Should we have our group page open to the public? Nope, I would not have it open to the public. You want it to be closed. You don't want just random people joining. You want to be able to approve people. You will get people that try to join your page that are like spammers, and you don't want that. That's exactly right what Jill says. This is a consistency. This is a daily thing. You've got to keep going and going and going. Periscope is not dead, but Periscope slows down significantly over the summer, which is why you saw me pull off. So now that it's fall time, I'm back on every Tuesday night, and if I see it pick up, I'll start to go back on as much as I was before. But if you want to participate in Periscope, I would still be really consistent. That's a good idea, Stacy. I like that. Okay. Any other questions or comments? I'll ask my leader group, and then also anybody that's watching, if any of you guys feel like you have a really great engaged Facebook group, if you have, there's not a best time to do Periscope. If you feel like you have another alternative way to help boost your Facebook group that I have not talked about, feel free to go ahead and post that in the event. That way everyone can benefit from that. You're welcome. You are welcome. No problem. Recap the recipe. Yeah, so you want to know what your focuses are, number one. So my focuses were Periscope, my Facebook group, YouTube. I was going to take my content from Periscope and put it on YouTube. And then I wanted to be consistent on Instagram and my Facebook business page. So I added every single female on my friends list. My husband added every female on his friends list to my Facebook group. My sister ran a giveaway for me. I've done this before with directs. It works better when there's a longer wait. So like if you pay for your inventory and you have to wait for 3 weeks, you can ask either your referring rep or another sister rep to run a party through your group. Now you might think to yourself, why would I want them to run a party? That first party is probably not going to sell very much. It's just sort of like an introduction. Like, hey, how does this work? What does this stuff look like? It's sort of like an intro. It's kind of like with any other network marketing company. A lot of times you host a party first and then you decide to join, and then your people kind of already know, oh yeah, that's right, that's that kitchen stuff or whatever. So I did that, and then I posted in buy, sell, trade pages, and I also made sure on Periscope I constantly told people to join my Facebook group. So I was adding people to my Facebook group that way. Once I hit 1,000 people, that's when I started running hostesses through my Facebook group until I hit 3,000, and then I stopped worrying about growing that Facebook group. On Periscope, I worried about being on, doing lots of kind of teasers and talking a lot to people that I thought would be potential reps. So saying lots of stuff like I get to pick my own inventory, and there's only 700 reps, and all those things were things that would be very attractive to people that were interested in joining the company or that were within a different company. So I gained a lot of followers that way. That was it. Do you post different content on Instagram? No. My Instagram account is linked to my Facebook business page account, and all of the content is identical. Occasionally something different happens on my business page, but only because I sell live. Sell, trade, sell, or just join my group. I did not ever post sales posts in the buy, sell, trade pages. I just posted my link under things that I thought people would be interested in. So if somebody was like, does anybody know a rep that's doing a giveaway or a rep that's taking hostesses, I would always pop my links in those. Should we do bit.ly for our links for Facebook if they are long? Yes, I would. I would do, especially because you can no longer click on links in a Periscope profile unless you're a VIP. I would make that link as short and easy to find as possible. If you want to buy, an easy to remember domain name, and you want to link that to your Facebook group instead of linking it to your your party site, you can do that. To my Pinterest to share content on Pinterest. Perfect, Megan. Lovely. Hey, Ashley, I'm just wrapping up. Okay, guys, I'm going to pop off. I've got another phone call I've got to. Our direct sales advertising page is a good idea. I've not ever participated in those, so I'm not sure. If there's somebody else that has participated and they have anything to share, then you can definitely reply to that and let her know. But I have not ever participated in those. I think the one thing to remember is that most network marketing companies or direct sales companies, there's a minimum purchase and people struggle to make that minimum purchase every month. And so a lot of times what I've seen happen is like 10 reps or like 12 reps will get together, and like the first month they'll all buy from like the 31 girl, and then the second month they'll all buy from like the Pampered Chef girl, and then the third month they'll all buy from the Jamberry girl. So that way, 1 month out of the year you don't have to worry about your personal volume. But for this particular company, that's not how that really works. And I'm going to be honest with you, if you're having a hard time selling enough to buy $100 every month, we need to have a serious conversation, a very serious conversation. Get with your referring rep first and then bring me in that conversation, because that should not have happened at all. Yeah, that should not happen. Okay, guys, I'm going to pop off. I have another phone call to make this afternoon before I start working on my own stuff. I will see you guys later. Make sure that you are taking time to implement the ideas, and not just like, sometimes with training, it can be easy to just like take all of it in and then not implement. So make sure you go and you implement some of the ideas, or you're not going to see anything different happen. Okay, guys? All right, I will talk to you guys later. Bye.